What up? It's your boy T-Bird on Reaction. Today is Fastlane Saturday. You know, as WWE today's pay-per-view with WWE is Fastlane, and we want to check out some more. Now, what I did was fortunately I only did one Fastlane video because only one Fastlane video out from partsFUNknown as well too. That's just the best of. I'm looking right now. See, they might have put a worse mashup. Like literally right away. Doesn't look like they did it, so you may not do it. Who knows? Let me see. partsFUNknown, Fastlane. Let's see, they already did one a while back. Maybe. Who knows? No, they never did. Okay, so anyway, we'll check out. We went from the best. So instead of this No Mercy, I just did the best of No Mercy matches. There was some good matches, some memorable, especially some memorable ones as well too. Now we're gonna check out 10 worst WWE No Mercy matches ever. So yeah, when there's already see with matches that could have been left off the card, or it looked good on the card on paper, but didn't execute well. Who knows? Without further ado, let's check it out. Is there any ads for this? No, it's not. Let's get it.
Now then, last week we made a list of the best No Mercy matches ever, and it was really good. Mark Markerson gave it 18 stars. The surprising thing about No Mercy, however, is there are so many bangers, which is good, but what that meant was my honorable mentions category could have been a list in its own right. To that end, and because I like nice things, shout out to Edge and Christian, Rock and Jericho, Austin and Triple H, Angle and Cena, and many, many more. But because life is about balance and life is hard, I must acknowledge that No Mercy was also the stage for a series of stinkers. Thus, in the name of balance, I'm Dan, hailing from partsFUNknown, and here are the 10 worst No Mercy matches ever. Number 10, CM Punk versus Big Daddy V.
Yeah, that just the name, just on paper that sound bad.
2007. A 2-minute match on a pay-per-view where your champion gets squashed is bad. A championship match that ends in a thoroughly dumb disqualification is bad. A match that solely exists as a punishment for something that happened off-screen is bad. This match is all of those things. And when I tell you about the backstage incident itself, you'll need to pause the video and pace around a bit. WWE CW champion CM Punk had paid a visit to OVW to work a very brief angle and help the younger talent. While there, he met WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas, who absolutely did not recognize him. Later on, Atlas said he'd felt Punk was disrespectful, which led to Punk clapping back in his own defense, just pretend to be shocked. And when that filtered back to the main roster, the decision was made to have Punk face the former Viscera.
Finally, we're doing this right now. And then, like I said on my earlier Fastlane prediction video, there's rumors that he might be coming back to WWE. I mean, I'm going to see what they'll do with this, but it's crazy that we hear about backstage nonsense already. Or already that it happened way before the backstage nonsense we heard about happens. Come on, Phil.
At No Mercy. And then the match sees Big Daddy V do his impression of wrestling until his manager Matt Striker interferes in plain view of the ref to get him disqualified. The worst managerial decision since Frank de Boer. Am I right, lads? Little football joke. Oh, and all of this happened in Chicago, which is where Punk's from, obviously. Bloody hell. Number 9, Naomi versus Alexa Bliss, 2016. So this one's not necessarily their fault, which is why it's so low on the list. Alexa was supposed to challenge Becky Lynch for the SmackDown Women's Championship, but Becky had to be pulled from the show due to injury. In her place, they plonked Naomi. Two good workers who plod through a routine match, but when thrown together like this, there's not a lot they can do. There's a ton of rest holds, there's very little chemistry in the ring, it's all... I hate to use this word, but it's just quite boring. There's no story for the crowd to buy into, and Alexa was still relatively new to the main roster, so the crowd...
Speaking of that, I heard that that's a lot, like why a lot of folks, have their dislike of AEW at times because they don't have too much storytelling in ring as well too. That's what they like a little bit as well too, though. But other than that, yeah, that can kind of kill a wrestling match sometimes, if there's no storyline in the back. It's just like something like this could be put on a regular show, but not a pay-per-view. So I get why it happens. So yes, like he said, it's not their fault, but still.
Haven't fully got to know her, and Naomi's in the early stages of a gimmick change, so the match plays to near silence. In the end, Naomi does a weird roll-up that makes her victory look like a complete accident, and that's it. This match happened. Clap, clap, clap. Number 8, Tory Wilson versus Stacy Keebler, 2001. Do you like boobs? Do you like bums? Do you like wrestling? Well, here's a key to a time machine, because in the noughties, you could get all of them at once, except for the wrestling. On a card that features not one, but 3 bona fide classics, Tory Wilson and Stacy Keebler were booked to have a scrap in their unmentionables. I think the entire show might have been themed around this one match, because the stage does look a little bit like a bridal lingerie factory, and they brought a softbox in to give the whole thing a gentle, softcore porn glow. When Stacy comes to the ring, JR just outright calls her stupid, and the match starts basically as an excuse for the men in the crowd to get really excited because 2 girls' skin is touching. Look, I'm as horny as they come, but my idea of a good time isn't watching 2 women awkwardly roll over Jack Doan and then engage in a series of badly executed pinning combinations. And nor is it number 7, William Regal versus Naked Minion.
Oh my god. Must we be reminded of that stupid gimmick right there. This is around time where we're past the peak of the Attitude Era, and it was just looking bad for a while. Like, it was like they thought they was going to get away with anything in the Attitude Era, because, you know, we was top. The Attitude Era was on this peak right now. This is, and they try their best to sneak that in. No. But yeah.
2000. Wrestling matches are built around a simple story that you're telling between the bells. Can he lift the big man? Can she lock in her submission? Will they coexist? It's what draws us into the moment.
Yeah.
The question here is, how long will it be before the man takes his clothes off? And the follow-up question is, why are we sitting here watching it by choice? Naked Minion's entire character was that he was naked, and even the naughties crowd don't vibe. They respond with noisy indifference. They have the energy of people who stop briefly in Leicester Square to look curiously at the buskers before they go to the reason they're actually there, M&M World, bloody tourists. Where was I? Oh yeah, there's a weird hot tag energy to the moment Minion takes his clothes off, which gives the match an unearned second wind. But between the unfunny character and the uninteresting wrestling, this match is a pimple on the nudist ass of the card. William Regal and his posh Mancunian accent make me very happy indeed. I thoroughly enjoyed his run as the Goodwill Ambassador to the WWE, but my goodwill for this character doesn't present the match with any reprieve. Number 6, Ivory versus the Fabulous Moolah, 1999. A little story. In 1998, WWE reintroduced their Women's Championship. They fleshed out the division by hiring women with in-ring pedigree, the likes of Jacqueline, Tory, and of course, Ivory.
First, you know why he said that, because, you know, a lot of them was like in part of like different federation, whether it was all women federations that was highly known as well too, or part of previous federations as well, wrestling companies as well too. So, you know, Ivy was part of the original Glow, and I think the later Wow, and Tory Wilson, back then known as I forgot what was her name at the time. Well, Ivory was known as Lisa Morelli as well too. I forgot what I'm about to look up what Ivory's name was at the time. I don't know if she went by Lisa Morelli, her real name, or a different name. No, Tina Ferrari and Lisa and Tina Ferrari as well too, and then Tory Southern Power. Wrong. Tory wasn't, not Tory. Tory DX, yeah. I forgot what it is. Southern Power. Terry Power, yup. And she was like a powerhouse at the time, but yeah, they did their thing in different federations as well too. And she was part of the Lady Professional Wrestling Association. I think she did well as well too. But either way, and Jacqueline was known as Miss Texas and USWF, and then later on went by Miss Jackie on WCW as well as too. She almost had a run WWE at first with Jeff Jarrett, but it was like didn't go through. It was just only for BS only. But other than that, yeah, that's why he meant by that. But yeah, let's keep going.
So, naturally, the champion was entered into a feud with the septuagenarian Fabulous Moolah. Now, in fairness, Moolah and Mae Young move around considerably better than I do, but the match still takes place.
Yeah, I said the fact that they moved pretty good, and they took some bumps. Especially Mae Young. She did too when she got hit hard by Jeff Jarrett with that chair.
In slow motion. The world's lightest forearm strikes give way to the limpest snapmares, and in one nail-biting moment, Moolah delivers some high-risk action from the bottom rope. But not content to leave it all to Moolah, Ivory does go for a suicide dive and manages to land squarely on her own head. Lovely. Honestly, Mae Young is a bit of a badass, taking 3 bumps off the apron in a way that has me wondering if there's a direct lineage between her and
I told you, I ain't know how she was taking them bumps, but yeah.
Allin. But in the end, Moolah hits Ivory with a no-pressure roll-up and becomes the champion. Good grief. Number 5, MVP versus Marty Garner, 2006. There's a good chance you've forgotten this match exists. He might be a fave amongst the fans these days, but the start to life on the main roster was a rocky road for Montel Vontavious Porter. People weren't sure what to make of his backstage segments, where he was presented as an arrogant tool who talked a big game, but never got his hands dirty. So he already faced an uphill struggle when he had his debut match at No Mercy in 2006, which became steeper when fans saw his athletic suit ring gear. And as if it couldn't get any worse, colour commentary at the time was provided by everybody's favourite bully, John Bradshaw Layfield, who brought his XXL shovel to bury the debutant this time. The conceit was that MVP had handpicked his first opponent to showcase his talent, and that opponent turned out to be enhancement wrestler Marty Garner. Lovely heel tactics, but the crowd chants boring in the first 10 seconds, and then what MVP shows of his in-ring ability is tremendously dull. This is a SmackDown angle at best.
This could have been put on SmackDown. Why that isn't a pay-per-view, man?
And not a good one at all. Thankfully, over time, things started to click for the guy, but boy howdy, this was not the way to show us he mattered. Number 4, Enzo Amore versus Neville, 2017. There are several dings for this one, a match so bad it made the man Gravity remembered, Pac, leave the company. After building a ton of momentum in NXT that was brought gladly to the main roster, Enzo's heat had evaporated by this point, evidenced by his entrance chant-along, which the crowd takes part in quarter-hearted. It is stark how little people care. And then he cuts a full promo. Have you ever been to an amateur comedy show and each act gets 5 minutes, then someone starts bombing in the first 30 seconds, but you know and we know that they have to keep going, so we're all just sitting there and it's the longest 5 minutes of your life? It's that. And then that stretches to the entire match, which is just Neville massively overpowering Enzo in such a way that is not exciting nor interesting. But it's worse when you watch it back knowing the outcome. Every one of Enzo's comeback spots is stifled, the ref gets to an 8 count but just stops because Enzo picks up the belt, and then he does a dip kick while the back is turned and wins the belt, and it's just so insulting to everyone watching, and especially to the work Neville had put into the Cruiserweight division, which was a large chunk of the reason he ultimately left. Number 3, Batista versus the Great Khali, 2007. Against my better judgment, whenever they show a crane shot of the Punjabi prison, there's a little part of my brain that gets excited. It's the same part of my brain that perks up when you drive past a theme park and see the big exciting ride, forgetting that every time you go on it, you end up being a bit sick. I'm all for new and different match types as a special attraction to enhance the viewing experience, but it generally does help with the viewing experience if you can actually view the experience, which is barely possible here thanks to a combination of 2 cages and a bit of local theatre lighting effects. The pair give it a go gamely, but Khali can barely move, which means even when you watch the match on double speed to refresh your memory, it feels like it's happening in slow motion. Meanwhile, Cole is really trying to make fetch happen by saying every few minutes that this is steel reinforced bamboo, and I don't think that means anything. The end is quite silly fun. It all gets a bit American Ninja Warrior as Batista jumps from one cage to the other to escape before the big man. It looks cool and is mildly entertaining, but it is not good wrestling. Number 2, Triple H vs Kane, 2002. Strap in, I'm gonna whinge. The match here is actually kind of fine, but everything around it just makes me so very...
Is this what I think it is? Is this what I think this is?
Very cross. First of all, it's the Katie Vick...
shit, it is. Fuck. Oh my god. I should have known.
Storyline, which is the Wagyu beef steak of yikes. And that means we have 2 of the biggest stars of the era facing each other.
And like I said, and also part of the Reign of Terror. Oh my god. And it was my favorite version of Kane. And this was like his best run. Not only his best run, but also he was his best version. It's low key almost his best version of him. Had a personality, had some athletics, putting on some good matches, just fortunately, he fell victim to the Reign of Terror, man.
To unify 2 of the biggest belts in the era, and instead of selling that, JR and the King are having a lively debate over what constitutes murder. And then, they're unifying the World Heavyweight title with the Intercontinental title, and that just pisses me off. We're right at the beginning of the Trip's Reign of Terror. After handing him the big gold belt, WWE made the decision, I assume to continue their great tradition of nonsense, to not carry through the lineage that JR tells us is a century long. So instead, they decide to make it mean something by hoovering up the fabled IC belt into it, which didn't work, and instead just compounded the reign of terror because all it meant was that there was literally one belt on Raw for people to fight over, and it was being held hostage by the game. It's a decision so stupid they reversed it just 6 months later, and thankfully, it took only 20 short years for the IC belt to start meaning something once more. All hail the Ring General.
It sucks that it was. I get it, but it sucks that it'd be a heel to do it though, man.
And number 1, Vince McMahon versus Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah, what the fuck, man? Why? Good thing part about Stephanie with the babyface, but why, man? Why the hell they had this match? I don't know.
And 2003. 20 years before engaging in a hostile takeover of the company from which he'd retired in alleged disgrace, steamrollering his own daughter in the process, Vince McMahon fought that same daughter in a no-holds-barred I Quit match. This is like the worst hits of Vince McMahon. It's navel-gazing family drama that had reached its peak 2 years prior, it's using Sable as a prop to snog a younger woman in front of his wife on TV, and in the end, he doesn't even do the job for his babyface daughter. It's not an athletic contest, obviously, so instead what you get is Vince mugging for the camera and Stephanie screaming for 9 minutes like she's auditioning for a part in The Exorcist. At least when Vince fought Shane, there was a relative balance in their skill level that allowed them to use smoke and mirrors to paper over the cracks. In the end, Linda throws the towel in for Steph, and then because you might as well go the distance, Vince does a post-match shove on his wife as well for good measure. I love sports entertainment as much as the next guy, but this is certainly not sports, nor is it entertaining. And that's our list. The comment section is now open for business. Let me know any you think we might have.
Yeah, that match was just jacked up. That's all I'll say about that. So yeah, other than that though, there you have it though. The worst matches in a row. The one like I said wasn't so bad, just wasn't their fault. Was Alexa Bliss and Naomi. I'll be honest, that should have been number 10 to be honest as well too. This one, the verse before that, that should have been a little higher up to be honest. The CM Punk and Big Daddy V, but I probably get it because of the show as well too. This one, I mean, I think Naked Minion should have been a little higher up as well too. That was bullshit. This one, I mean, we were only guys, so I get it. This one, I ain't think nothing too much of it though, because you know, it's way before we found out how controversial Moolah was. Yeah, this match right here with MVP, that could have been on SmackDown, man. But now this one, it's like this. I see what he's trying to do with Tom. This is around time. It was like we was close to the dying moment of 205 Live. You know, Neville, despite him being a heel, I guess he supposedly was a good heel champion. It's just at the time it was real dying because, like I said, one, they was feeding everybody to Neville as well too. Then Enzo or everything. I think it got. I don't know if this was before or after Buddy Murphy's little run. I think this was before that run. I think I could be wrong as well, but yeah. But I hate. Boy, the other thing I think about it is like part of how they hate, how they dislike, how they have to have like the only person that can carry a company title to me to give prestige to is a heel. Now I mean, you're kind of do right now with Gunther and of course right now with the Tribal Chief though. It's like they don't let a babyface push prestige on titles no more like they used to do back then with Hogan and Bruno Sammartino. The only way prestige can be put back to a title is with a heel. In my opinion, that sucks. Starting me because there's that just show that a good guy and a hero can't do nothing prestige anymore. It sucks. Well, other than that, that's another story. But either way, there you have it. If you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's your boy T-Bird signing off. One love.